Hey guys, Abby here, back with another Outriders video. Today's one is going to be super duper brief. We're talking about weapon mods for AP Techno. Now, a lot of these mods are good for other builds as well. Some of them are only good for AP Techno, and in my opinion, of course, this is my opinion, but we're going to go over all of the mods here that are really good. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to point out the ones that I use, that I really enjoy, that I've gotten a lot of benefit out of in the end screen or whatever it may be. All right, first up, Claymore Torrent is a great one. It's one that you may have from the base game that you can just plop on your weapon if you are leveling up. So definitely keep an eye out for that. In the very beginning, I was using Claymore Torrent as like my Apocalypse mod or just plopping it onto something as I was leveling up. Deadly Disturbance is another one from the base game that is not bad. It's not a bad one if you get it as your Apocalypse mod or you want to throw it on there. Now, Death Ray is one that I think is kind of unique to AP Turret Techno, and this is because you need to be aiming down sights to form a beam. This is really good on bosses or tankier targets because you're going to get 419,000 damage every 0.3 seconds. So that adds up, and as long as you're holding down the trigger. So this is one to experiment with as well. Next up, we've got Dimensional Rockets. Now this one is out there as one of the most loved new weapon mods for WorldSlayer, and it is definitely really awesome. However, you got to make sure you're getting those critical shots, because if you're not, then you're not going to be firing the rockets. So it is really good against the trial boss, the big armor dude. You can just shoot him right in the face, and the rockets tend to like get stuck inside of him because he's so big, so it tends to have more of an impact than it would on normal enemies. But if you have good aim, it's pretty good on normal enemies as well. Next up is going to be Firestorm. Now this one I already have on my weapon. This is one of my new like main weapons that I've been using lately. Thunderbird, I just got it, but it's got Firestorm as its Apocalypse mod. Successful shots summon a homing firestorm that deals 5.2 million damage and inflicts burn to enemies within its radius over 8 seconds. The radius of the firestorm increases with each successful shot on the afflicted target, and then it moves around kind of. It's got a 10-second cooldown, so it's a pretty long cooldown, but it's a pretty high damage, so it's good to pop onto bosses like Broodmothers and the Trials boss and big elites that don't really move that much. And it's pretty good just kind of to plop down on some enemies, a group of enemies as well. So I've been really liking Firestorm. Next up, we've got Fortress. This is always a great one, especially for anomaly builds, because you're going to get that armor and resistance defense, and then you're also going to get a 20% damage increase for 10 seconds. You'll notice your arm is going to like kind of glow green when it's active. So this is a really nice one just to throw on as your secondary mod. For AP Turret Techno, Icebreaker is really great too. Critical shots against frozen enemies make them explode. You're going to do almost 2 million damage. Of course, these are all scaled to level 70, by the way. So when you look into the mod section, it's not going to say that number, just so you know. And all of these, most mods scale with anomaly power. There are some firepower ones and some that are more like set and just go up based on your level. But your damage is always going to go up based on your level. Kinetic Stomp is another good one too. You don't have to worry about getting criticals. It's just shots create a 3 million damage shock meter around you, 5-meter radius. The only thing about that is that you're gonna have to be close to the enemies, so keep that in mind. That's a really great one. A lot of people are into Moaning Winds, but Moaning Winds I said goodbye to a long time ago. I don't use Moaning Winds anymore. It's a decent one to put on your sidearm if you need that extra little damage, just to switch to your sidearm, reload it, and then go back to your main weapon. Omen is still a decent choice. They have nerfed it from 30% down to 10%, but it does inflict bleed. It deals a pretty good amount of damage, and it goes through cover and through enemies. So it's nice if you have like one enemy that's like in the back of the room and you can't really see them, you can just shoot Omen at them and it'll hit them. Another fun one to try out on AP Turret Techno, if you're not using lethal devices, is Stigmatized. This is going to inflict toxic. If you are using Stigmatized, try to stay away from toxic weapon mods because you want your skills to inflict the toxic. That way they have a chance to get that extra bonus damage through the anomaly. I feel like a lot of people don't understand like how that's working, but you don't want to actually inflict the toxic yourself. You want your skills to do it. Next up is Strings of Goss. This is a really great one as well. It got a buff in New Horizon, and it's a base game mod that you can put on. This is a nice one to run through ad areas with, not so much with bossing. Ultimate Bone Shrapnel, of course, is great. This also inflicts bleed, which is another great way to get another status. We've also got Ultimate Damage Link, which is pretty good in certain situations, but I wouldn't use this on the regular because you kind of have to be like debuffing one enemy, you're shooting the other enemy, and then it's hitting them type of thing. So I would kind of stay away from that for now. And then the last two are going to be Ultimate Storm Whip, which is what I've got here on my Thunderbird. Ultimate Storm Whip is awesome. 3.2 million with a 3-second cooldown, which is great. And then the last one is Wrath of Moloch, which is a 2 million and inflicts burn. So those are all the weapon mods, the tier 3 weapon mods that I would recommend for AP Turret Techno. Of course, there's some other mods in here that match the tier 3, like Claymore. We've got a tier 2 Claymore. We've got a tier 2 Bone Shrapnel. Stuff like that is going to help you guys out. We've got a Winter Blast. We've got freezing bullets, you know, all that good stuff. So you can we've got Storm Whip. So there's like a mini version of the ones that I talked about in tier 3. So you can use that to kind of guide your decisions there. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully it helps you guys kind of identify which mods you want to pick up and what you want to put on different weapons. I've been playing around a lot, so I don't really stick with one weapon for too long as I'm leveling up. If there are any that I missed, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.